I was born in Kansas City, Kansas area. I grew up mostly in Kansas City, Kansas area, though. Des Moines has always been my second home. Both my parents were born here in Des Moines, but I've been living in Des Moines ever since I got out of school. I'm 24 years old.
Tell me a little bit about your educational background.
I went to community college for 2 years, Johnson County Community College, and then I transferred to KU, the University of Kansas, and I did my junior and senior year there. So I studied journalism and political science.
What was your opinion of the police growing up?
I've never liked the cops. I've just always had a negative opinion of the police. I've growing up, I think was always, aware of the harm that they do. I've always listened to rap music since I was a little kid and just kind of, watched a lot of, TV movies, just been exposed in the media to, things from a Black perspective, I guess I would say, because you do see a lot of, glorification of the police and making them out to be heroes in most media.
The hero cop is arguably our most American character. A 2019 study even found that Americans trusted the police more than any journalist, religious leader, or politician, that we believe them to be fair, accurate, and compassionate.
Believe it or not, watching cop shows makes a lot of people see the police as infallible.
Yeah, but I think like when you watch like older Black movies and you listen to rap music, NWA and all that kind of stuff. So I was always kind of like a, anti-police, I guess I would say, not even like fully understanding why, but just being like, those are like the bad guys, I guess. I always have been someone who questioned authority, challenged authority, stood up and made my opinions heard, especially when I thought that, injustice was going on. And I would hear stories, from my dad, definitely, who would tell me growing up, about his interactions with the police and, would have the talk about, how you need to act, if you get pulled over and, no sudden movements, right? You need to show respect to the police officer. You cannot let them think that you're hiding anything ever or anything like that. Those talks that I think most Black kids are talked about with their parents.
The talk to me is the conversation that we have with our boys, particularly Black boys, about how to have interactions with the police.
They're to understand that the police aren't necessarily there to protect and serve them, but perhaps they're to profile them, perhaps they're to just make judgments about what they may be doing, even if they're not doing anything.
An ABC News investigation in partnership with our owned and operated stations showing in a number of major cities, Black Americans are far more likely to be stopped than white Americans. In Minneapolis, 5 times more likely. In Los Angeles and Chicago, 4 times more likely. 3 times more likely in Philadelphia and San Francisco.
I remember being a kid and my dad telling me a story. He used to like carpet, like did flooring. So he would like carpet and tile and stuff, like commercial. And so he would always drive a van that would have like all the flooring in it in the back of it. So it was like a really big like work van. And one day he told me he was driving home from work and all of a sudden he gets pulled over by a cop. And all of a sudden there's like 3 cop cars behind him. They have their guns drawn. They're using like the megaphone thing in the car, like giving him instructions, telling him put his hands out the window, all that stuff. He was just driving home from work, had to get out of the car, like lay flat down on the concrete and stuff. All these cops with their guns pointed at him and stuff like that. They assumed it was him and he had to experience that. And, I remember him talking about how scared he was, like thinking he was going to die that day. And just not understanding, like, why is this happening to me? Like, I'm just driving home from work. So, yeah, I would say, stories like that, I can remember from being a kid. I did grow up, in a suburb, more privileged lifestyle for sure. I was, a kid that I didn't really respect authority, like I said, didn't really respect laws like that, like I said. So I was doing stuff I probably shouldn't have been doing when I was younger, middle school, high school, smoking weed with my friends, doing that kind of stuff, having run-ins with the cops, running from the cops, stuff like that, just stuff that kids do, I feel like. I've been pulled over in the car with my parents before. I haven't had too many experiences, or I didn't have too many experiences being pulled over. Like when I was living in Kansas, I was never pulled over when I was driving by myself. But when I moved to Des Moines, I was pulled over. Honestly, it was like first or second week that I had just moved here, like permanently. I was pulled over by DMPD, like right in front of my aunt's house. So I've always never really liked cops. But as I've, gotten further in my education and had more life experiences and really like dug deeper into the understanding of like why it is that like this relationship exists between the police and the Black community, or just the community as a whole, it's only furthered my distaste for police and pushed me further to where I'm at today, which is thinking that police need to be abolished.
On the next episode, Part 2. Jaylen helps form BLM DSM, and the 2020 protests begin.
And we are live outside Mayor Frank County's house.
I want to thank you for this peaceful protest.
I feel like now is the time for revolution, and when it happens, I want to be part of it.